That fall-away jumper just cannot be stopped. Beautiful.
It's kind of Kevin Durant-ish. Well, yeah, look how tall he is. Of course, he just shoots over everybody.
And it's for Wilt as he leaves the game, and they're giving him a step. Leads by 4, 85-81, goes to knocked loose, Hurston back, Chamberlain.
Passes to Chamberlain, he's open, he shoots, he scores.
Chamberlain, boxed in and all, still gets the shot away.
A lot of people think, hey, Wilt was scoring against everybody else, and he wasn't doing diddly against Russ.
And he can score on you in dozens of ways.
Jumps it up over Wilt, Wilt blocks it. That's 4 block shots for Chamberlain. Chamberlain blocked it. Great play by Chamberlain.
But there were games the Celtics might have won where you got 45 points, 28-30 balls.
Chamberlain forces through.
He's just so powerful, Marty.
Slam dunk, Wilt Chamberlain. Get out of there. Down the middle, Chamberlain. Fight.
To go against Bill Russell, the great defender, and get 55 rebounds.
5-0. 50.
Man's averaging 50 points a game.
3 ball. Chamberlain, what's there?
He's averaging 50.
He thought, and rightfully so, that he was the greatest basketball player that ever lived.
She got a thing for Chanel vintage that dropped before she could speak English. Do you love me and love seeking attention?
What's up, YouTube? It's back in the video. That comes out with a big body banger. That comes out with a 2K22 video. Now, first thing first, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. We're going crazy. You feel me? Roll the 2K. I think right now we at like 1595 or 1596. You know, keep subbing up. Let's get to that 1600. You feel me? But today, I'm the build dealer on your local corner, and I'm coming at y'all with a Wilt Chamberlain build video. Yes, sir. This was suggested, it was requested, and best believe I'm gonna do it. You know, y'all voted on the poll, and this was like the 3rd most voted, because what I did, Hakeem, I did Harden. So yeah, now we at Wilt. There's gonna be Joel, there's gonna be Barkley, and then we got a next 5 going in. But yeah, you know, I felt like with this build, I really made Wilt. And what a lot of people, listen, there's a stigma behind Wilt that he couldn't shoot. This build will be able to shoot. Yeah, surprise, surprise, Wilt actually could shoot. There's a huge stigma that he couldn't shoot. But listen, we'll get into that. Okay, but without further ado, let's get right into the build video. Yes, sir, let's get right into these pie charts. So first thing first, for Wilt Chamberlain, you want that finishing and defending pie chart, but more finishing than defending. As you see, if you do the equal finishing and defending, you don't get as high as stats. You know, there's really no benefit to it, in my opinion. Now, when you do the finishing and defending where it's more defense, it's just not better than the one where it's more finishing. You see, you get identical defensive stats. So it's no point in picking that one. So you do more finishing and defending, and obviously Wilt, I feel like more finishing and defending represents him a little better. So for the physical profile, you want the balanced one, because Wilt could literally do everything. He could run, he could dunk, he could jump, he was strong, you know, he was dominant. He was like the Shaq of that era, but better, and like in terms of like the competition they were playing, you know, like nobody could stop him. He had nobody that could check him. He was averaging 25 rebounds, 8 assists at a point. Yes, Wilt averaged 8 assists at a point. Like 50 points in a season before. Like, it's just ridiculous. But 8.8 blocks they say he averaged per game. Like, that's ridiculous, isn't it? So listen, Wilt Chamberlain, there's a stigma that he cannot shoot, that he was a terrible shooter. Was he a terrible free throw shooter? Yes, but the thing that separated him the most was that he scored 60% of his points off of post fades or mid-range shots. Like, so there, yes, he could shoot. He could shoot a mid-range. He could shoot post fades. He had his post faded game, and honestly, it was one of the best post fade games of all time, because that would be his game, his go-to. He wasn't just dominating people, like dunking on them. Even though he could, he wanted to show people that he wasn't just good just because he was big. So we need to get that out the way. Now with this build, well, you get like a 57 mid-range once I do all the edits, but you get 99 strength. You know, once you go to the gym, get your weight up, all that. And if you at 99, you'll just walk around with 99 strength. You want that wingspan at 94. That weight is what, like 280, I believe, yeah. And the wingspan is at 94. You don't need to go all the way up. But yeah, as I was saying, you see your mid-range shot is at 57 and your post fade is what, at a 70. So this is enough to do damage. Remember, if you have floor general, You have boost and you hit 99. That's already a plus 12 to those offensive attributes. So you could potentially be playing with an 82 post fade, a 69 mid range, and you know, all your other offensive attributes are going to go up 12 too. So keep that in mind. Like I always say, pick your teammates wisely. Make sure you grind the build out and buy boost. That is the most important thing you can do to maximize the potential. But yeah, this build will be able to shoot, be able to dunk on people, block a bunch of shots, get defensive rebounds. This build can literally do everything that you need it to do as a post scoring big man. And I'm telling you, when I say this will translate well into rec, into park, it will, because people aren't going to be expecting you to be able to shoot any post fades, shoot any mid ranges, shoot at all. They're not going to expect you to be able to do that. But and on top of that, you're 7'1" with a 94-inch wingspan. You know how many 7'1" builds there are this year? Not a lot, because a lot of people are making 6'8" shooting and defending builds, 3-and-D builds. You know, that new pie chart. Because that new pie chart is really good. It's really good. I will say it's really good. But because of that, their big men are smaller now. And now you have this 7'1" big man that can shoot, that can post hook, post fade, block shots, like do literally everything you need to do. And I mean, once you get it to 99, once you grind out the badges and do what you got to do, it's like nobody's really stopping you, and they're not going to expect to stop you. They can't. You get your hot zones too, equip hot zones hunter, and have post fades on. Like what more can they do? Deadeye. It's things like that that separate this build from other post scoring or wilt builds that you see. A lot of wilt builds will be strictly a finishing and defending build with no shooting at all, or it'll be strictly a finishing build with like 9 defensive badges. I know last year I made a wilt build where it had like 9 defensive badges, and yeah, it's enough to be good at defense as long as your block is high enough. But I feel like a 95 block represents wilt a lot better, you know. And you get, obviously with the full finishing pie chart, you get more badges. You get like 64 badges with that. But it's okay to sacrifice badges for a build that will play more like the player. You know, like I would rather have like 18 finishing badges and 22 defensive rebound badges as a Wilt Chamberlain build, and have 30 finishing badges and 9 defensive rebounding badges, you know. So that's what I was thinking in my head. And also I do my research, you know. Before I made the build, I made sure that I watched a bunch of Wilt Chamberlain gameplay to make sure I was making the right build, because I was about to do the mistake where I don't give him any shooting, where he was just a big man that just ran and dunked and played defense. But that's exactly what he isn't. He has the post fade, he had the mid-range game, he had the finesse. He was more of a finesse big man than a power big man. Sure, he was dunking on people and he was dominant, but he wanted to finesse people to show that he was skillful. He wanted to show that he wasn't just big for no reason. He wanted to show that there was a reason for his height, and that at any height he could be good. You know, that's what separated him. You know, you see right there the post game, everything is going crazy for him. But yeah, this was requested. I had fun making this build. I enjoyed it. You know, I figured it out. You know, I made it as dominant as possible. Even in this game, I had like 8 blocks. So it's like, let's imagine against real people. So yeah, imagine like what you can do, the damage you could do with this build, especially if you really learn how to play with it, do what you got to do. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of the video, y'all. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Keep suggesting these builds. I have fun making that, you know what I'm saying? I'm out. Gameplay on the way. Peace.